Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and hey, hello, it's Monday. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's doing well out there on Cryptocurrency Monday. But you know what? No rest on this weekend. Actually, quite a bit of action, a fair bit of action, and plenty to talk about coming in today. So let's get into the live scene right over here. And first things first, hey, wishing you the best fucking day possible, man. Anyways, okay, over here into our GDAX chart, a nice fresh chart to muddle up with some good old lines over here. And again, the most important area to be aware of going forwards for, however long it might be, whether it's a few months, a couple years, whatever, maybe never, you never fucking know. 6,100, the area to break essentially for Bitcoin. So here is a very big sound bit that I need to repeat over and over again, just like when Bitcoin was over here above the 6,100 level. As long as it was above there, it's like, all right, well, the second that you break that, it's into full-on bear market territory, like significant downside, which is exactly what we've seen. However, by the same token, if Bitcoin can break back above this area, then that would be the opposite scenario where I'd be comfortable with saying, okay, a Bitcoin very likely bottomed, not going lower, and it's time to be searching, at least in my opinion, for some long-term longs, essentially. Again, it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, blah, 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 blah. And before I forget, my God, Jesus Christ, man, for the rest of the month, all my programs are on sale. The technical analysis program, the options program, and the Jewel Indicator Mastery program is on sale for 20% off with the code BF20. So again, for all the people who are interested in that, I want to make sure that that information gets out. So hey, you can get it at a discount. And if you're not interested in it, well, then this is just probably just really fucking annoying that I talk about it. Anyways, for the people who are interested, there you go. Okay, so back now over here. Bitcoin essentially putting in a nice, what do you want to call this? A doji, like a long-legged Darth Maul doji dildo saber right over here. Yesterday on pretty damn good volume on the daily. So closing it above, what is it? About 3,900 it looks like. So a decent close on the daily. And now we kind of have an area to be working off of going forwards here. As long as we're essentially above 30, let's call it 3,800, I'd be treating this as a local low. Yes, it does look like a local low. However, I should also be very clear in stating I feel very strongly now that this is not going to be the ultimate low right over here. The way that it's come down into this area and the way that it's being kind of brought up right here is, to me, very unlikely to be the ultimate low. However, for now, it's a good local low, and we do have a little bit of bullish divergence on the daily going on over here. So we do have something to work off of, and the direction in the interim timeframes is upwards and onwards for now. I am a little bit long on my accounts right now, but right here we are going to run into some resistance right around 4169-ish area. It's a great number, but also kind of the breakdown point over the weekend, and also going to be the CME gaps right over here, which depending upon how you look at it, might have been filled, might have not been filled on this rally right over here, kind of reaching that 40-50-ish area, which to me is close enough, and close enough is good enough sometimes. So again, the way that I look at this from CME's perspective is that we had a little bit of a throwover over here, and then perhaps popping back into the channel right now. Now, with that said, again, I don't look at this as the ultimate low of this market cycle, but for now it's good, and we do have a few major pivot points to be working off of. Now here we need to talk about something incredibly important: the weekly 200 exponential moving average, which has actually been completely shattered as of yesterday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So this is again another reason why I'm not necessarily the most bullish after seeing this chart right now. And this offers up the opportunity for a lot of package. So I'm not sure. That sounds very arrogant, but my fear is that a lot of people in this market, or a lot of people in this group, are going to perhaps be looking at these lower timeframes, looking for clues into the current price action, the current trajectory. Well, that's great. However, when it comes down to it, for overall direction right now, nothing really matters other than the weekly. Nothing really matters other than the weekly. And this is going to offer up a complete, there's so much opportunity for fuckage right here, because we are now going to have a chance to both open and close our first weekly dildo below this 200 exponential moving average, pretty much in the history of Bitcoin. Maybe if we go over here to BLX, we can find an example of where it's done it. Nope, there's actually never been one example. In fact, we've never even really closed a weekly dildo below it. So let alone, opening and closing a weekly dildo below it is not going to be a good look on this guy. But again, that also means, we have to be aware of this on the weekly dodo time frame. So a lot can happen between now and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on next Sunday, which would actually be in December, I believe. I believe we're getting to December pretty damn soon. So again, if this weekly dildo closes below this 200 exponential, which is actually currently around 41.75, so it's really not that far away, we will be in new territory as far as charting goes, and I would be looking for significantly more downside. And sorry, when I say significantly more downside, I mean, this is a relative term, of course, but I would say very, 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 very likely we make our way into the high to mid 2000s. And I think really the more that I kind of look at this guy right here and just realizing how fast this thing shot down through, that makes it more and more likely that Bitcoin actually goes lower over time. If this, if we got to this area, in like a month instead of, just a couple weeks, it would be a different story. But the fact that it just fell right on fucking through is not the best sign. Not only that, but on the lower time frames right over here, a lot of people are looking at this as capitulation. No, it's not. This is not capitulation. In fact, there's a couple of very bad things about this chart right here. The volume characteristics on this buy up are not fucking good enough, man. They are just straight up not good enough. This is a complete trap right here. When you see declining volume taking you off of your lows, that is a big fucking sign. And this is where I think a lot of people are going to get tripped up. A lot of the Twitter pros I already see getting it wrong. A lot of the fucking, YouTubers I see getting it wrong, thinking that this is, the capitulation bottom, never going lower. Well, maybe you can say that, but for now there's certainly a lot of classical warning signs for the good old classic trap where you just fucking dumped it to all goddamn hell. There is kind of an unspoken rule about an actual capitulation, bottom, in that when you typically get it, it's when everyone thinks the bottom has already been put in, maybe perhaps here, and then everyone buys in, and then it dumps another 50%. Forcing those people to capitulate, just absolute fucking pandemonium, just true despair. And again, remember, just a year ago, Bitcoin was essentially at these prices. I mean, as time goes on, it becomes less and less. But essentially, right over here. This was only September of last year that we were at these prices. People who bought in before September and August of 2017, they have never been tested. They've never even, obviously, when you see price action go down like this, you're probably like thinking, okay, what the fuck? But at the same point in time, like for formal tests, no, you have not been. And it just gets a degree greater for each and every month that you go further on. I mean, this is, 2016 right over here, just a couple years ago. These people are still about, these people are still like what, almost 10x, it's crazy shit when you really think about it. So again, I do think that we have a nice local low right here. Is this the ultimate low? No. And I feel very similarly about this guy as I did about this guy over here in the mid 4000s. It's like, okay, probably going to put in at least a little bit of sideways. We're in this area right over here, hitting a bunch of supports along this area. But overall, this is what's really going to separate a lot of people from from getting wrecked, essentially, in my opinion. Could I be wrong on this? Absolutely, yes. How would you know that I'm going to be wrong on this? Well, if we started getting back above, obviously 6,000 would be the very obvious range. But, if Bitcoin really started getting back above, 5,500, this area right over here, I'd really start to reconsider, okay, could that have been it? But hey, for now, it's we can see that, yes, going back above here, this whole blue box territory now is kind of like a ceiling, so to say. So as long as Bitcoin is essentially below the high of this blue box territory, which is currently around 4,600, which would also be the meeting of this dotted trend line right over here, which is the 10-year logarithmic trend line of Bitstamp, going all the way back to the genesis of Bitstamp. Yes, I understand that it's not actually 10 years because Bitstamp hasn't been around for 10 years, but it goes back to the genesis of the longest running exchange, essentially. That I'm looking for, if Bitcoin even does get back above here, I'm looking for that to be a big resistance. Again, this week is going to be, I can feel that this week is going to be extremely nasty. If Bitcoin is even able to get back above this area, back over here, and everyone's going to think, oh my God, it's bull market on, baby. If Bitcoin does close back below 4,200-ish by end of week, well, has it really done anything different? No. In fact, that would just be confirming, in my opinion, more downside, significantly more downside. So with that said, for right now, I don't necessarily think that short is a play right now or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I would say that you got this guy right here, 3,900. So as long as you're above 3,900, I would not be really looking for shorts at all. By the same token, from a more classical standpoint, I'd be going off of this guy right over here. If we could adjust it for the 2-hour dildo time frame, right around about 3,800. As long as you're above there, it's technically, you can still make the argument for it. That also means, though, that is the point at which, if we were to break 3,800, I'd be saying, okay, it's time to go lower, or at least revisit the prior lows down around here at around 3,600. So again, be fucking careful. Be fucking careful. You're going to notice a lot of people get extremely, extremely optimistic during this week. You're going to notice a lot of people triumphantly posting about how they BTFD and how they're going to hodl, #hodl for the rest of their fucking life. Well, be careful. Be fucking careful. This, to me, this declining volume on this kind of dig out over here, not good enough. Not fucking good enough at all. I shouldn't say that stringently. I mean, of course, there's variability in the market. It's, but at the end of the day, when we go over here to the traditional markets, in the SPYs, it's going to be running off of basically whatever traditional markets do. They've been pretty much trading in lockstep. Now, yes, it does look like perhaps SPYs have put in a local low right over here, but again, this thing does want to come lower over time, is what it looks like to me. I do still have a measure move taking us all the way down to about 260-ish area, but that's not really where I believe that this thing stops. I think that over the next couple months, going off with the monthly right over here, taking everything off, major bearish divergence on your Stokes as well, rejecting that more critical zone. This thing does want to come down over time. If it comes down to about 240, that's certainly in the cards. If it comes down to about 215, I think that would make a lot more sense. But again, this is a monthly, so it's gonna be operating on the monthly time frame, so it's gonna take a long fucking time, which I'm sure is gonna trap even more people, because that's what it's designed to do, man. People have a very short-term memory when it comes down to these things, and my phone is just going crazy at all hours of the day. My God, man, the fuck is going on over here? Anyways, okay, so speaking of the monthly for Mr. Bitcoin over here, we actually have gotten down to this green 55 exponential moving average. So we spoke about over the weekend that, hey, once you broke, I think it was 4180, this was the next area to be looking towards. Yes, we did go a little bit lower, but hey, that's why I don't really care too much about wicks. I care about dildo bodies and the fact that it kind of like, it's kind of like buoying off of that area, buoying, oh my God, boyoing. Just basically fucking bouncing off that area is kind of what I was looking for. But basically, and I don't think that this breaks it on the first pass. And I think that probably December is going to be, a bouncy bounce area between, about 30, whatever this is, about like a few ticks under 3,700 all the way to probably like 4,700, high somewhere right over here. Overall, does it want to come down further over time? I mean, it's going to depend how far we bounce up on this first pass when this monthly dildo closes. If this one can close, with a nice wick on it, like a 20, 30, 40% wick, then, that would look a lot better. If it looked, if you've got something like this over here, this is basically almost a 50% fucking wick. So again, right now we probably have like a 10 to 20, 16% wick so far. But still a few more days left until the end of the month, so plenty of time to go on that. But again, people are looking at this as capitulation. Not really. Again, look at the volume over here, and again, volume characteristics relating this guy to this guy over here is not going to be correct. But relating, see how like this guy really stands out head and shoulders above everything else. I mean, this guy over here does not do it. It's not good enough. You're not fucking good enough. No, of course not. But in a more literal sense, I'm looking at this area right over here, and basically, it doesn't stand out above anything else too much, or enough for me to really be convinced of it. And again, coming over here to the monthly, while I'm not necessarily, I actually might have to take back what I said before. I think, okay, so sorry, let me explain what I said before. What I said before is that I believe Bitcoin's actually ticking down right now. I believe that, 1,300 is possible, but I don't think it's very likely because of the way that Bitcoin's come down so fucking quickly in this, in these first couple weeks over here. I think it's a lot more likely than I initially thought. I mean, this whole range right here, it's going to be between about like 1,200 and 1,500. So anywhere around 1,500, give or take a few bucks, did become a lot more likely. It's the word that I'm searching for. A lot more likely, just because of the acceleration that we experienced right over here. that was not what I wanted to see. I was really hoping that Bitcoin, again, this is bad thing to even say. It's like, I was hoping for this. Like, no, that's not fucking trading, man. Again, this is why I don't trade my opinion. But what I was hoping what would happen is that we'd be able to hold above the 200 exponential and start filling out, the area between, mid to high 4,000s over the next couple of weeks. We didn't do that. We actually broke the 200 exponential, and we will have a chance to confirm a kill on this moving average by 7 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday, if we close anywhere below 4,200-ish area. So again, this does offer up the potential for some more nasty price action, is what I'm trying to get at. So again, be aware of that. Definitely be aware of that, because that will come into play. Next area that I'd be looking towards, if our current low was to fall out, I would be looking towards this 200 simple moving average right around 3150. We should have a nice volume profile node coming around that area as well. Actually, we do not. Well, depends how you position this now, isn't it? Again, yes, somewhere right around here. This higher volume node does basically cover the whole 2000, so it's not too helpful. But I'd imagine that, around 3000 would kind of make sense, just because back over here, when you pass it the first time, there's significant amounts of volume being done in this area. I think that was one of the times that China banned Bitcoin, one of the fucking billion times. But you also notice right here, there is nothing doing according to this volume node right here. Now, this is a weekly, by the way. This is a weekly. We were looking at a daily before, and there's just a complete gap between, like, low 5,000s to low 4,000s, and we just fucking shot right through that bitch. Well, on a weekly, it's gonna be, it's a higher time frame. It's gonna imply a much more pronounced experience, essentially. So if Bitcoin is to lose this, what is it, like 3,700? I think we said it was like 3,700 is our last like support, or at least a support that I'd be looking at as like, okay, I can make an argument for it as long as it's above there. But the second that it loses that, well, where are we likely to go? Probably somewhere down around here, and really, make a true crack for below 3,000. I would imagine. So again, be aware of this. It's not looking too hot right now. Higher time frames right over here. Again, the yellow 21 exponential and the green 55 exponential are gaining more momentum away from each other. This was really when we had it on our radar, when these cross that, hey, it's now time to be looking for positions. Again, not financial advisor, but just sharing exactly what I'm thinking over here in those exact situations. And again, once it was below the 10 simple, that was, once we got this rejection right here, that was like, okay, well, I'm taking short position now. I still have that short position open, I believe. Let's go right over here. Yep. Oh, I just closed my long position apparently as well. Nice on that little down. Good. I like that. So still short from about 6,300. My options are going okay as well. I think I'm just short a bunch of puts at the 3750 strike, which I'm happy to cover. And it looks like, the more and more I think about it, it's like, oh, maybe I should think about covering now. Anyways, overall, the charts right here, not the prettiest of all time. The volume on this dump right here is pretty damn good. I would say that it's pretty damn good. Is this capitulation? Well, again, I need to see more of a wick coming off the low. In 2014, a great example of what capitulation can look like is this guy right here. Basically from wick to dildo body, about 40.5%, and from wick to basically like the top of the dildo body, 69%, which is just a great number. So again, that's kind of the reaction that I'm looking for. This over here just doesn't do it. It's again, not good enough at all. 13%, it's going to fool a lot of people. And I see a lot of people calling the bottom on a lot of these things, but I would be extremely careful of saying that just yet. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but again, you guys know my sort of ultimate end game is I need to see price action back above 6,000 for like a full-on confirmation, in my opinion. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm looking for. And again, let's actually go over the resistances on the way up. Let's just kind of make the assumption that this thing actually does start, really rallying and putting in a nice local low right over here, which, I think it's in the process of doing, really. Well, we got this area right here, 3,700. Again, that area must hold, otherwise bad. Orange man bad. Then if that area, and then to the upside, obviously we got the 21 right here, but we got the 4,200 level right here. This is also, again, your weekly 200 exponential. So this one is of extreme importance right here, 4180-ish area. But again, remember that can be broken like during the week. It's just at the end of the week. So again, I said this in the program Discord. you know, be very cognizant that all you have to do this week is just is literally just to watch. There's, you know, there will be trades to be taken this week, especially on lower time, of course, on lower time frames. But when you're looking for overall direction, nothing's going to matter except for the weekly right now. Again, we are talking about, you know, market phases right now. We're not talking about fucking, you know, bullshit. Oh, I got a cup and handle over here. Better be going up. It's like, no. And cup and handles are like the most overdiagnosed fucking ones of all time. Okay, then we got this guy right over here. If first things first, if this area breaks, then we got 4,300 area next resistance. If that area breaks, then 4,550-ish area is the next resistance. And if that area breaks, then 4,750 is the next big area to be aware of. And of course, this is going to be a range right here, no doubt about that, in between about 4,800, so a nice $50 range. Then above there, things get a lot more, you know, a lot more interesting, all the way up to about 5,200. So again, you know, that would be kind of the the steps. If you do want to play out some upside, that's what I'd be looking for right there. But for right here, right now, finding resistance along this 21 exponential moving average, and right now, actually just under 4 minutes away from printing a nice doji dildo on lowish volume, could be a sign of, or it just is a sign of indecision, perhaps even reversal. So again, 12-hour over here, you know, does look okay. Still got 4 hours to go. Got major bullish divergence. Like, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things pointing towards the bulls right now. You know, major bearish divergence on higher time frames, like a 12-hour, and you know, your first semblance of bullish divergence. Sorry. My God. Bad time to get that slip of tongue. You got major bullish divergence on a couple of big time frames, you know, like your 12-hour and your daily right here. You got 2 drives on your daily. That's, you know, we haven't really seen that in a long time. And I'm getting buy signals down here, but again, I don't trust this one too much when things are trending. And I believe, you know, this was the buy over here, not necessarily right here, just in case. So again, you know, be aware of this. Let's go over to the 2-day. What is the 2-day saying right now? 2-day Stokes are actually just getting in the critical zone over here, but still no sign of slowing down. What about our daily Stokes actually? Oh, they actually did cross the upside, but kind of a weak one. And still, we need to see get out of the critical zone. 3-day over here still going. And again, 3-day was the one that really, in my opinion, was given the signal. So so far, the 3-day wick on this dildo right here actually looking okay. But again, you know, you're not going to get any sort of bullish divergence on your 3-day dildo time frame over here anytime soon. So again, you know, it's look at the higher time frames. Like, understand that this is a unique. This is why I think a lot of people go broke during bear market cycles, because they, you know, your indicators are gonna, you know, they don't necessarily lie to you. That's the wrong way to say it, but they need to be interpreted in a different way. If you're in the technical analysis program, definitely check out the module interpreting indicators. Because that's going to tell you, that's going to show how to interpret them dependent upon which sort of market cycle that we're in. Again, very, 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 very important. It's not, again, I've been saying that they lie to you before. I don't think that's not really the right way to say it. What I mean to say is that they need to be interpreted differently, because most people are used to bull markets because, well, most people entered into this bitch, you know, at least prior to 1 year ago. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. Printing a little bit of bearish divergence on the hourly right now, actually. That's what it looks like. Yeah, we're basically same price action, and also just making a lower high. Hourly Stokes over here, they're actually just kind of snaking around, so don't really have too much to make out of that. But again, you know, yes, we if we do want to shove a horizontal right here, we certainly can, right around 39.20, where this 21 exponential is likely to come into price action as well. So, you know, that is an area of interest, but hey, I wouldn't get too, you know, yes, if that area breaks, you got this area right over here, 3,800. If 3,800 breaks, that's when things get a lot more, okay, we got one more left at 3,700. If 3,700 breaks, well, then this thing is going to look very, 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 very bad. So again, I am extremely skeptical of this being the ultimate low right here. Doesn't mean that we might not have a little bit of up right now. In fact, we've already had like what, $300 off this kind of base right over here, and that's not bad. I mean, I suppose really breaking below 3,800 should really put on the red lights, just because this is like an accumulation pattern right here. So, you know, breaking below the low of this guy right here would not look good. But of course, you know, I want to be as lenient as possible, just because the stakes are huge here. And, you know, did you already test kind of the gap fill on the CMEs? I would argue that you already did. I would argue that you did. And you have one rejection right here. Well, is this a rejection? Not really, because you reaccumulate and then try it again. But this one over here selling back down is not the best sign either. So again, be aware of that. The weekly will kind of dictate the pace of this guy. Very, 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 very important. We can go take a look at, quick look at Mr. Buterol over here. Mr. Buterol, I think I've seen a lot of people, I've seen more people call the bottom on this guy than anything. And let's actually, I'm just going to get rid of everything right here. We don't even need these anymore. They're just not that applicable, but you could just go off the daily right here. Hey, the second that you close a higher level dildo back below about 114, it's not going to be fucking good. It's not going to be fucking good at all. It's that, if we close like a 4 hour below there, that would not be fucking good. I mean, you got 2 doji dildos in a row. Typically when I see like two to three doji dildos in a row, like the former trend takes over, which actually in this case would be up. So fair enough. I mean, that'd be a more positive sign, but again, Mr. Buterol has a lot of work to do. And the breakdown point over here has been rejected 1, 2, 3, and 4 times. Also running off of the 4 hour 20-minute exponential moving average. So again, I don't like that. It needs to get above here. Otherwise it's like immediate pressure down 121.5. So this is on Finex, by the way. So keep in mind the exchange. If that area gets broken, then yeah, I don't see much holding it back from about 133, 134. So again, be aware of this level right here. Very important. The fact that it's been rejected so many times over here, it will wear out its welcome at some point in time. So again, I'd be having a very, 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 very tight eye on this guy right now. So 121.5 needs to be broken for me to really consider that. Okay, we got some upside here. Again, another like 10, 15 bucks up to 130. I think would certainly be within reason. And then above there, you got 150 if you can get above there. So yes, there is a runway for this guy, but needs to actually prove itself. This guy has not been able to get a 4 hour dildo close above the 21 exponential, the yellow line, ever since basically the breakdown from 200-ish area. So this has been the area to go off of. Yes, it is kind of flattening out over here, but still providing resistance, which, you got to go with it until it stops working. Okay, what else we have to talk about? We spoke about regular markets, we spoke about Ethereum, we spoke about Bitcoin. Should we go look at Mr. Ripple Me Timbers over here? Yeah, let's go look at Ripple Me Timbers. 38 cents right now. Again, 38 cents was the big area that we've been speaking about for quite some time. That it did actually break this area, but man, this is actually a little bit more of a zone. So I might take back what I said. Because similar to Bitcoin and similar to Ethereum, they're all kind of like coming down to these major support areas, which is like a little bit hairy. I want to be more generous than not, just in case, because if we do want to rally, which this one actually has had a little bit of continuation on Poloniex, there's really nothing stopping it from about 42.25 cents, and really 46 cents after that is where I'd be looking for this guy to kind of get back towards. Although this is not necessarily the best sign over here, the way this kind of like drooped down. Are we working on some sort of like a flaggish formation coming off this right here? I mean, maybe that would be the more bullish view, obviously. But hey, if this area right here, the more generous area gets broken at 37 cents and closes like a daily below there, not gonna be fucking good. Probably looking to retest these former lows right over here at some point, 27 cents. So again, we spoke about how Ripple was unlikely to act very, very well as soon as you broke this area right here at about 49 cents and down another 10 cents and actually wicking significantly lower. Well, there's your fucking answer. So again, be aware of these sorts of things. Okay, let's go check out Japan. I'm curious what they're doing. I haven't looked at them today. Okay, so yeah, Japan. I haven't touched this chart I literally have not touched this chart in like weeks, or I don't know even when I made this one, but it's been a while. Coming down to this level right over here. I guess I didn't get it perfectly, but hey, close enough is fucking close enough. Right around 427,000 yens. We got resistance right here at about 475,000 yens. So needs to get back above there. That would be kind of, it lines up with U.S. markets, which is really what I'm looking for right over here. I don't really see any sort of major discrepancies on the low over here. If we go down to the lower time frames, I'm curious what their volume looks like off the low. It looks better. It does look better. No doubt about that. It looks a lot better than U.S. markets. No doubt about that. No fucking doubt about that. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. But still needs to see continuation up and needs to break 472,000 yen. That is, the critical point, just like basically 4,200 is for Bitcoin on a weekly time frame. So really, this week is going to be a lot of saying the same shit. It's like, okay, Bitcoin needs to close above 4,200, otherwise not fucking good. it's the technical term, not fucking good. So let's get back over here. We're gonna wrap it up right now. And again, whoa, we just put in a nice long wick right here, major wick actually. Jesus Christ, man. So this one might be coming back down a little. Another rejection along this area, guys. Again, this was a gap fill in the CMEs we spoke about yesterday. Like the big trade to be made was playing a what's it called, at least a little bit of a scalp short off this gap fill into this region right here. Yes, that does count as a gap fill. It's close enough, and that's good enough for me. Right now, coming back down probably to base upon this 39.30 support. Again, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and the fat lady is somewhere down around here, around 3,700. Although 3,800 would certainly raise a few eyebrows, and 3,900 is it's just like you really want to see these things start to take off sooner rather than later when it is an actual low. Like that's the big thing. So again, if you are trading the lower time frames, be aware of those levels right there. But of course, the most important things again is the weekly 200 exponential moving average telling the story the whole way through, and we'll basically we have to wait until the end of the week to kind of get resolution on this guy. But assuming that we can go all the way back up to we could go all the way back up to here, and then if we still close below this guy right here by end of week, that to me would be indicative that it is in grave danger. So again, right now, just kind of hanging around this area, filling out the space, and probably frustrating a lot of people. I think I'm net short right now. Yeah, I should be net short. Yeah, I got how many deltas do I have? 12 versus 15. Yeah, so I'm net short by a little bit. I really don't want too much risk right now. I don't believe that this is so low. I think that we are going lower, but it's probably going to take some time, or at least I hope it takes some time, because the faster that you go lower, typically speaking, it's going to imply that there's probably an ultimate low that's probably further away, which is not, not exactly ideal. Anyways, that's going to do it for this morning stream. Hope this one finds you well. Hope you're doing well in this cryptocurrency land. Hope you're doing well in just life in general. I'll be back on later with a nice live stream, and I look forward to seeing you guys there. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.